Hey guys, ILene Vick here for Teaching Adult Coloring with ILene Vick. It is Monday, March 22nd at 7 p.m. and I am live and ready to go. Okay, so announcements. Melba Carter will be in here tomorrow, so be sure to attend that event. She is going to be working with the acrylic paints and giving us some art lessons, so we'll have lots of fun with that. And then on Friday, Jeff Haney is going to be here, so that'll be fun. And he is going to be coloring along with me in his book. He has never actually colored one of his own pages using the same media that we use. So he's grabbed his colored pencils and his markers, and he is all set to go. He went ahead and he posted the image for us to color, so just go ahead and grab that in the group. All right, next thing. Dawn's contest ends tomorrow with the Williamsburg picture. So you need to get that done and into the files so she can go ahead and take a look and choose the winner on that. So lots of fun with that. Also, March 31st, Ruth Sanderson is doing a coloring with her little fox book. And that's the book that she talked about in the group. And we talked her into releasing it again. She updated it and she has released it on Amazon, and so fun with that. So yeah, lots of neat things going on in the group. I've got another event coming up. Hello, Stacy. I've got another event coming up that I have to finalize yet before I tell you, so we'll get that all set. And yeah, always check announcements, guys. You never know what's going on unless you do. So that really is key to all the information. Okay, I think we're good to go. Let me switch you around. There we go. All right, Stacy, how are you? Just need to adjust my camera just a little bit. Hello, Julie. Good to see everybody. Come on in, get comfy. Let's see what we can do here. All right, just checking some announcements here to make sure that we're up to date. Rita, what's the mala? Hi, sweetie. Hello, Melba. Good to see you, Melba. You got all your stuff ready to give us a great lesson? And you're set up and everything ready to go? Oops. I gotta grab a couple things. Hold on. All right. Well, Rita, I appreciate that. I just get that little kick saying Guatemala. Okay, and Melba, we can talk about that in the group. Welcome to everybody that is coming in the actual room to chat. Welcome to everybody that's up in the balcony watching us. I'm so glad to see everybody. Yeah, Lila says she wants to learn about the gouache paint. I'm probably going to mispronounce that. So yeah, let's talk about that. And we can also talk about some basics in shading. All right, guys, so last night I was working on this image here. Muskogee, Oklahoma. That's funny, Melba. Mark also lives in Tulsa. So while people are falling in the door. Okay, good. So we're going to talk about, you want to talk about basic shading? And we'll talk about the paints, different paints. I was telling you about Mark. What about Mark? Yeah, Mark lives in Tulsa as well. He's my husband, but we've been separated for like, I don't know, 12 years now. So yeah. All right. So I've got a bunch of stuff I want to show you tonight. Okay. How does the broadcasting sound tonight? Am I nice and clear? And not too loud? All right. So you guys know that I love to add add-ons. That's what I call my custom coloring. And I want to show you now some things that I picked up. It was supposed to arrive tomorrow, but thankfully it arrived today. Oh, that's good, Julie. Yeah, you might need more paint here. Okay, so the sound is awesome. Okay, good. So I'm nice and clear and sharp. Cool. Yeah, I know, Lila. I reposted it in events, and she didn't share it to the general public for Ruth Sanderson. So I reposted, and what people need to do for now is to join Ruth Sanderson's group, and she will be coloring out of that book, The Foxes, the 31st. And that is the book that she is bringing back into press because we were talking to her about it, so she's all excited about that. All right. So this is something I want to show you. Yeah, Maddie, see if you can share the event into our group. All right. I want to show you guys something here. I purchased rocks. I'm sure my UPS guys loved me. They're actually pebbles. And as you can see, this is the smaller pebbles. It's the kind of stuff that you might use in potted plants and jade trees. And this is another size that is a little bit bigger. And you can see the various sizes here. And, ooh, Melba, you need to have Deco Pink send me some samples or a set so I can promote them. All right, this is what I'm going to do. And you also remember a while back, I purchased some different colors of sand. And one of the colors is a really nice brown. Let's see what we got here. And I've got a gray. So we're going to have some fun with this. Hello, Stephanie. Now, this is the reason why you guys call me the Queen of Custom Coloring. Yeah, Melba, we can talk about that. Get in contact with me personally from Deco Arts. Before you do any checking, Melba, let's talk, okay? All right. So what I'm going to do here, hi Pearl, is I'm going to take, you guys know that I love my washable clear glue by Elmer's. And I'm going to start putting that on the bottom here. Zoom in. Okay. And then I'm going to take my sand and tap that into the glue. All right, and let me do something here. Okay guys, I'm back. We were bumped. I don't know why. I didn't have anything to do with that one. Ugh. And we were doing so well. All right. All right, we'll try this again. Stacy, can you hear me? Let me know. Just yes or no is fine. Well, no, obviously, if you can't. Okay. All right. So we'll get everybody back in here. Welcome back, everybody. That was not me. I don't know. You would think that Facebook would love me because I bring everybody to it every night. Right? All right, so what I'm doing while you guys are falling back in the door is I'm going ahead and adding, got bumped, my sand, to the bottom of this, zoom out, zoom in, okay, good, zoom out, so what I'm doing, guys, is I'm taking the sand that I bought and I am applying it to the page. I'm simply using my clear Elmer's glue and then I'm going ahead and adding my sand. Now you're going to have a little bit of a gooey consistency because you're sticking your finger in it and you're moving your sand around. So if that bothers you, get over it. Oh. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I am going to tap my loose sand off the piece and then go ahead and tap it back on. Okay. Oh, Ronnie, that's wonderful. You know that saying, there's no place like home. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and tap the excess again back here for the moment. And really what you're making now is basically a paste with your sand and your glue. Zoom in. Now, I've got this ugly black line at the bottom that was there. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to go ahead and color this, cover this with the sand. Now, there's still more that I'm going to do to this. Oh, Lila, it's pretty granular. Now, I originally bought this sand from Amazon because I wanted to see how it was going to work with my projects. But what I would recommend, because Amazon can be expensive and some of these containers are pretty small, what happened, Ronnie? Were you buying too much stuff from Amazon? What you want to do is you want to go to Oriental Trading Company, excuse me. And they have bulk sand that you can buy. So what I'm doing is I'm doing this in thirds, roughly. And then as I'm putting this sand on, I'm just lightly tapping it. Zoom out. Lila, this is thinner glue. I'm spreading it around. Oh, Wanda put you on probation. I gotcha. And then what I'm doing is I'm going ahead and swirling this just a little bit to take care of any areas that may be open. And then you can go ahead and cover any of your bald spots. Now, when you buy your sand from Oriental Trading, you can remove these little caps off of these bottles and basically refill them. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and dump any remaining sand back on the piece. Zoom out. But I'm not done. So for the moment, I'm going to put away this brown sand. And I'm going to pull out my little rocks. Yep, School Supply Company will do it. Is that the name of the company? And did they let you order even though that you weren't a teacher? Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of these little stones that I bought, and I'm going to go ahead and put them on top of the sand. Now, in this case, I'm going to go with another pass of glue. And then I'm going to go through and drop these rocks in front of the door. Oh, okay, so the information you're giving us is really not applicable because it may not be there anymore, plus we're not teachers. Okay, I got it. Now, in this case, don't be afraid to use a good amount of your glue because you really want this to stick. And the other thing is, and I'll show you the sizes. Hi, Karen. And then what I'm going to do is with these bigger pieces that I've got, I'm going to go ahead and basically pretty much individually glue those down. Now, it depends on the size that you get. But again, you don't need very big pieces. So be very, very sure that you're careful if you order this stuff. And as you're doing all this with the sand and your rocks, you'll get a really good feel for how much glue and how much sand you need. Zoom in. Now, for some of these, it may take a little bit of individual placement of your rocks, especially with the bigger stones. Okay. Anybody have any questions so far? And now I'm just taking a toothpick and I'm going ahead and pushing this around a little bit to get it where I need it to be. Zoom out. Now, you need to remember that your pages are going to be put in notebooks or storage pages. So I would even go so far as to put a layer of glue on top of this. And because this stuff is clear, you shouldn't have any problem with it. And that's why I really, really like this particular glue. All right, zoom out, zoom out. Anybody have any questions? Questions, comments, what? What do you think? And like I said, you're going to use copious amounts of glue because you really want this stuff to stick. And I want to make sure I get some on this edge. And hi to everybody I'm missing. I'm just right now, no pun intended, glued to this page and doing it for you. Now, be sure you get down to your edges so that you complete the effect. And then, of course, whatever doesn't initially stick goes back into your supply. Now, let me see something here. And what you may want to do, like what I'm doing here, is I'm going ahead and adding a couple of stones onto the step as well. Just to have a little fun with that as well. Now, the other fun you can do with this, and these are my larger stones of the two, is you can go ahead and add, which I think looks cool, a line of them across the bottom. Come on, ILene. Okay. So now we've got a rock garden kind of thing going on here. Let me put my little stones away here. Yeah, there's a song from the 80s with that title. Come on, ILene. Okay, so I'm going to take a minute to glue this because I want you to see this completed piece. Zoom in. We will rock you. Oh yeah. And what you'll want to do, guys, when you're putting your stones on here, your pebbles, really they're pebbles. Is take the time to individually place them. Okay, so I've got that side done. Hi, Wanda. Okay, so does everybody see where I'm going with this? Zoom out. There you go. So I've got a couple of random stones here. Now, I'm just going to poof a little bit of sand on top of these stones. And the reason that I'm doing that is because the glue, hi Sandra Kay, is a little bit shiny. And I want to dull that down just a little bit. But obviously you don't want to put too much. And if you have any areas in between the stones that you need to fill in, with your sand, go ahead and do that as well. And then let that dry. And then the last thing you can do, see these little corners right here? If that gets a little irksome to try and get that sand all the way out to the edge, all you have to do is take a brown pencil and just color it in, because you're going to have little spots. All right. So let me brush this off. And then of course I'll let that dry and we'll go from there. Questions, comments? I want to know what you guys think of this. Do you like it? And more importantly, would you try it out? Making the bricks with stones? Yeah, that would be cool. Now make sure that you don't get too big of the rocks. Alright. I'm looking for something because I want to show you something on something else as well. Okay, so bear with me. There are so many applications, guys, that you can do this on. Like I said, bear with me for a second here because there's a specific piece I have in mind. Now, you guys, there we go. That's what I wanted. Excuse me. Okay. Now that's got to dry overnight. So remember when I did this mailbox? Now, right now, I've got my little rocks and stuff in a bag. But what you should do when you go to use them is put them in some kind of a bowl. And that way you can pick out your sizes better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you another application. Zoom in. And what you want to do here is pick out the smallest stones that you can find. I keep saying stones, pebbles. Like these are really teeny tiny here. Now, I'm going to caution you is don't do this just for the sake of doing it, right? You want to be very, very classy about what you add to your pieces. And you don't want to add things just for the sake of adding things, okay? Now, I'm picking out the teeniest, tiniest pebbles that I can find. Yeah, classy, not trashy. That goes with glitter, that goes, you know, when we're talking about bows. Anything like that. Now, if you have a coloring that has rocks on it, you might consider adding some things on that. Now, I don't know if there's such a thing as a matte finish clear glue. Who knows? But I want to do this piece for you doing this to see what you think of it. But again, don't get stupid with your add-ons. Just because you can add on something doesn't mean that you should. All right? I tell you that kind of thing all the time when I add things. And a lot of these pebbles have flat sides to them. So you can take your toothpick and roll them around until you get what you want. Oh man, I need a really teeny tiny stone here. And you'll be pleasantly surprised how easy it is to manipulate these things. You guys with me yet? You're awfully quiet. Zoom in. And the neat thing is once you get a little glue on your toothpick, you can pick up your teeny tiny pebble with it and place it wherever you want it. And that's going to be a neat way to help you regulate what size stone you should be using. Zoom out. All right. Zoom out. Everybody see how cool now this is starting to look? And it's really amazing on this particular assortment that I got. I mean, there are some teeny tiny stones here that you can use. Zoom in. And as you start to do your piece, you'll get a really good feel for what you need to pick from your little pile of pebbles. I mean, I'm not even sure the pebbles is the proper word. It's like they're little teeny tiny stone chips. They would probably even almost fall through a sifter. Okay, we are getting there. Now, okay, Wanda, that's fine. Hi, Katie. Okay, now I've just got one more segment to go. I get it, Wanda, not your cup of tea. And like I said earlier, or should have said earlier, or will say now, is the stone shapes are varied enough that you can go ahead and fit them into your areas. Now, what I don't want to see, since I'm showing you this method here, an idea, is a plethora of pieces with rocks on them. You need to use your specific judgment as to what works and what doesn't work. In other words, don't do it just to do it. It's got to fit the context of the picture that you're working on. And like I said earlier, if you do decide to get anything like this, don't underestimate the size that you need to get. They've got to be really tiny. Oh, that's, you know, I would almost call these stone chips. I'll show you on my finger how big some of these are. Okay. Zoom out. All right. So this is the little path that I did at the top. I carried it down through the fence. Now, let me see if I can give you some context as to how small these are. And, okay. See how small those are, guys? On the tip of my finger? Some of them are bigger. I mean, there are a ton of sizes in this. So just be sure that you get the smaller stuff. Okay, so there's this picture with the stones. Now, if you wanted to on this one, you could have stopped at just doing it up here and maybe down a little bit by the mailbox, but again, maybe just up here. But I just decided to carry it all the way through. Totally, totally up to you. All right. I need you guys just to bear with me for a second while I put these back in the bag. So what do you guys think? Yes, no, maybe? Wanda's not a fan. That's fine. Okay, Stephanie likes it. Lila says maybe. Sandra says not for me. Okay. Maddie says depends. Don't know till you try. Yeah, you can see this little stack of stones here. So like I said, give me a moment to get these back into their bag. So what did everybody think about the stones on the first picture I did them with? You could stop at the sand if you want to. Here, let me put that picture back up. So this has the sand and then the stones on top of that. Let me line that up so you can take a peek at it again. And again, on that second piece with the mailbox, you could have stopped at just the stones leading up to the house. You adored the door picture before the stones. Okay. There we go. Almost done here. So there's a thought for you about adding on to your picture. Ooh, these cups are handy. All right, there we go. Okay. Let me get my cup out of the way. Oh, Julie, you blended gel pens with water? Does it work? Okay, teeny tiny stones are put away. And I'll just show you real quick side by side the two projects that I did with it. All right, let these puppies dry and let's move on. All righty. All right, I want to show you this piece that where I put the metallic paint on a couple nights ago. Alrighty, so this is how that metallic paint looks now that it's completely dry. And what I wanted to do is go ahead and take a second just to finish that up real quick, because I want you to see how I'm going to work around these little narrow places. And then we need to get back to the kiss that we've been working on. Yay! And then we'll work up whatever other projects that we've got. Okay. All right. So this is my Arteza metallic blue. Yeah, you know, Wanda, I like them too. I mean, they're just enough of a little extra bling on things. And this is the one where I went ahead and I purchased that set of brushes from eBay. They were not expensive at all. And what I'm doing is I'm dipping my brush into my water just to create a couple of water spots in the dish here. Zoom in. And the main thing that you want to do is you want to do a combination of dabbing your paint and dragging your brush. And again, this is one of those things that you just need to get a feel for. And the really neat thing about these metallic paints, guys, is with them being water soluble, oh my gosh, there is just so much you can do with them. They clean up very, very easily. And like I said, I don't have water in my studio, so what I do is I just pull the paint off of the paint dish. It literally peels right off. So I just want to take a few minutes and do this for you. You guys always tell me that you prefer that I finish projects, so that's what I'm doing. Now, any teeny tiny area that you can't get in with your paint, just hit it with your blue pencil. Do I have my own page so that you can post pictures on it? What do you mean, Stephanie? Now, when you're using this metallic paint, if you go over the edge, if you immediately swipe it with your finger where you went over, you can clean that up. Do I have my own teaching page? I have a YouTube. I do my teaching here on Facebook. There we go. Yeah, Teaching Adult Coloring with ILene Vick is my group page. That's correct. Thank you, Sherry. And again, guys, a combination of dabbing and swiping. To get your colors in. And if you need a little bit of water, there you go. All right. Now, I don't want you to be afraid of the acrylic painting and painting on your pieces. There we go. Zoom out. All right, see how cool that's looking now? Yeah, I'm not stalling on this end, Lila. Okay, so let's go ahead and fix up this side. With the acrylic. So tell me, what do you guys think about painting on your coloring pages? To the extent that I do it. And are metallic paints something that you would work with? And how do you feel about adding extra bling to your pages? And by bling, I mean anything, add-ons, stones, you know, rhinestones. Right, of course it depends on the bling. I'm talking about in general. We've talked about gelatos, we've talked about acrylic paint. Oh, Katie says she brought springtime bling to add to her Easter pictures. Okay. Just don't get stupid with it. Don't add just to add, okay? I'm just showing you different options for consideration. And bling can cover holes in your pictures. Oh, Lila, that was so funny. I'm so proud of you that you did that workaround. That was a biggie. If you guys haven't seen Lila's posting, you really need to look at it. She literally ended up with a hole in her page because of some problems with the liquid pearls. And it did not go into the trash. So Lila, again, how did you feel when you fixed it? Would you have kicked yourself if you had thrown it out? Lila is the poster child for not throwing something out. I mean, she had major problems with her stuff. Okay, so I'm just painting some teeny tiny spots in here. To get in between all that green. Melissa, did you get kicked out? Or yeah, you've been here a while. And you're right, Lila, that everything that you put your effort into, now again, if you can't get into a teeny tiny area with your acrylic, then you can fake it and put a little blue in there. Honestly, it's not going to be noticed. Now, the neat thing with this acrylic too is you can go ahead and, yeah, Melissa, or not Melissa, excuse me, Wanda, the blue and the purple are fantastic. You can go back over your previous areas and just fill in. Where you might have some light streaks. And I'm doing that also to use the paint off my brush so I don't waste it. And I feel like these areas in here inside are a little bit light, so I'm just going to hit that just a little bit. And when this dries, I'll go ahead and reinforce that green again. I'm thinking that's looking pretty cool. So I think we've maintained the Art Nouveau-ish style of this page. And unless I see, oh, wait a minute, couple things. Not quite done. Let me just clean up my brush. Now, I want to tell you guys something too. I don't have a sink up here, but I've obviously got a cup full of water. So all I do is I just, you know, I throw away Kleenex and paper towel and stuff in my trash. So there's paper products in there. So all I do is I just go ahead and I dump that little bit of water right into the trash. So I know that sounds weird, but it's a way to take care of the disposal of that water. Just pop it in, just dump it in the trash. It'll absorb. Okay. So now what I'm going to do let's see what I got here. Well, I'll get there. Well, hard to throw it out the window in bad weather. No, I just throw it in my trash. There's a plastic bag in there, and it's so little water it absorbs right in. Okay, so I'm going to take my little adhesive rhinestones. These are one of my favorite things here. And I'm purposefully using the blue, the aqua blue. And as I've mentioned to you before, even though they have adhesive on the back of them, you want to go ahead and add that extra glue. Okay, so we'll go ahead and, it might be a little too big. Zoom in. I'm going to go ahead with a smaller one. Can everybody see that okay? Do not depend on the adhesive, guys, that comes in the package. Because remember, you're taking your colored pieces and you're shoving them into notebooks, and they're getting rubbed on. So always glue. And until I learn differently, right now my fav glue is the Elmer's Washable Clear. And literally what I do is I just place the rhinestone and put the tip of my toothpick down, and then I just put my finger on top of that and slide the toothpick out. There we go. We've got 3 of those. Zoom out. So now we've got just a little bit there. And I also have a teeny tiny butterfly. That also happens to have yellow on it. Now stickers, I don't really worry about. Let's see where we want to do that. So I'm going to put the one butterfly on there, and that's enough. We want clear here. So that's just my sticker sheet of butterflies that I picked up somewhere. There you go. So I'm calling this one done. The only other possibility I would think for a potential is maybe go ahead and put one of the teeniest, tiniest zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. So I've got a teeny, 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 tiny rhinestone. And that is pretty small. So you were barely going to see that. And you would expect to see it on the metal here. So I'm just going to put these three on right here. And you want to keep this one really simple because it's the Art Nouveau. So I think that's enough on that one. Okay. Zoom out. Zoom out. There you go. Questions, comments, thumbs up, thumbs down. Do, 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 do. I like the way the blue goes from the lighter to the dark. Did that on purpose, of course. And there are not many embellishments on this little puppy at all. So if you like this one, give me a thumbs up. Okay. Calling this one done. Oh, a stone on her finger on her left hand. Well, that would be a neat idea. Okay. I can do that. Definitely. I think that's a terrific idea. It is a perfect place with its position. Zoom in. Teeny, teeny, tiny, my tiniest stone here. There you go. What a neat idea. I like it. Zoom out. And it's so subtle. You're welcome, Pearl. All right, there we go. Look how cool that stone on her finger looks. Love it. All right, so we've got our metallic. We've got our little flower centers just to add a little bit there. Cool. Okay. We are making good progress. Any questions or comments on that piece? I love it when you guys chime in. All right. Throw my water away. And then what I do, guys, is I just dry out the inside of my cup with a paper towel. So I do a lot of reusing of my cups. And I store my Q-tips in there that I've been using. All right. This is from Kevin Vokes America. You guys remember this one. We had lots of fun with the sailor uniform. And I showed you how to color that up so that we have it looking like the white. Da-da-dum. See here what we got. You guys are so quiet tonight. All right. Any questions on how to... Oh, you know somebody that looks like the lady in the purple dress? Oh, don't go there. Is she a nice lady? That's funny. All right. Tell her she looks like a lady in one of the coloring books that we're doing. Okay, so the way we did this, everybody remembered how we did this sailor suit? We worked with a little blue and a little gray. Yeah, when I said don't go there, Lila, I just meant I hope she's not offended. Oh, you haven't seen her in a long time? Now, everybody remembers that snow basically has a blue tint to it, right? So that's why this sailor outfit's looking pretty cool. Because we're telling the brain, see, the brain is already looking at this as a white piece, right? So from that standpoint, you've got a leg up because your brain wants to see this as white. Oh, she was in your Red Hat group, Lila? Cool. So I've started out with my blue, and now I'm going to go ahead and mute that down with some gray. And what I want you guys to do when you're out and about is I want you to look at clothing and shades of clothing. And that's going to help you in your coloring. I want you to notice shadows. And I want you to notice the color of things as you're looking at them. Now notice how the gray is muting this down. And the whole suggestion of this now is a white uniform, right? And then what I'm going to do is next to the dress, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of shadow. You're welcome, Julie. All right, so go ahead and shadow your blue. And then, like I said, I'm adding the shadow right next to the dress. And also remember that I'm coloring right on top of the lines of that dress, because nobody is really outlined in black lines, are they? Good night, Melissa. Anybody have any questions about how we're making this white look white? Zoom out. See how cool that looks now? And anywhere that there's a crinkle in the sleeve, you can go ahead and shade that a little bit more. And I'm going to add a very, very light gray shading to the top of this, because we've got the folded sleeve. And then we have another folded area up in here. So I'm going to go ahead and enhance that just a little bit. Melissa, Pearl, good night. Okay, so we've got a really nice indication here for a sailor. And again, your mind looks at a sailor suit and says, oh, white. All right. And then I'm just adding a little bit of subtle shading for the folds. All right, what do you guys think? And the more that I enrich that gray and the blue, the more that we really get a nice white look out of this. And it's really going to show up when we start doing some of these, some of this work on the building. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and do his hair. Da, 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 da. He is fresh off the ship. So I'm going to start out with my brown here. Zoom in. Okay, and then we are going to use, not that one, ouch. My master color gray. Well, yeah, Wanda, wouldn't you kiss any woman if you were a man just fresh off a ship? Now, I'm going to color over with the gray. Yeah, kiss them all. Okay. And now I'm going to add my black. Anyone care to tell me why I used these various colors before I added the black? To give the undertones, that's right, and the dimension. And when I added the black, I'm not coming in heavy-handed. That's right, the black hair has different colors. That's right, Maddie, dimension. Okay. And then I'm going to take my blending pencil and very, very lightly, just going to kiss it. Just go ahead and blend that. Everybody's so quiet today. And then if you need to go back and add your highlights, and then just work it over with your darker color and or gray. And you may even want to pull in a little brown. Okay. And everybody see now how I put those little streaks on there? All right. Zoom out. And then Thursday, guys, is Jeff. And tomorrow is when your pictures are due by midnight Central. Zoom out. So what do you think so far? Now, I want to tone down her hair just a little bit. So that's just a matter of going ahead and overlaying it with some brown. Now notice how this is giving her some more depth as well. I'm fixing it, Lila. Okay, everybody see now how that's giving it a much richer color? And again, guys, we want that dimension. Okay. Now, whenever you get to a point where, you know, if you're tired of working on something, or again, you want to define an area. Do not hesitate to jump around a little bit. Zoom in. Oh, good night, Miss Wanda. Okay, now notice how by adding just those simple zoom out, so now you can start to see the balance of where everything is going here with this. Now, to me, concrete block like this is going to show some wear. Zoom in. Zoom in. So we'll go ahead and get some dimension on that. And just be sure that you don't do the same thing on all of your concrete block, right? We talked about that. Now, what I want you to notice too, if you've noticed is that I came over with the gray to the left and then continued it right down to the right, because wear patterns on concrete block are going to tend to be vertical, right? Because of the dripping. All right. Good night, Lila. Now, I'm going to use a very dark gray. This is a charcoal gray. And I'm going to go ahead and work on these railings a little bit. I'm going to come in very light. And what you're starting to see is this is a balcony. Building with all the balconies. So I'm going ahead and I'm identifying that. And I'm going to go ahead and carry that down one more level right here. Now remember, that was dark gray, right? And now I'm going to come back in with a little black. And that way we've got better dimension on this. It's just not flat coloring, right? And then of course use your eraser and clean off any oopsies that you have. Zoom out. So now we're starting to get a feel for what these buildings are doing here. Now at this point, I would go ahead with just my black now. And do my vertical. And as you're going to see, then that keeps that horizontal and the vertical separate. So you're seeing two different shades now. And that's going to help you keep that dimension going. Now, there are different shades of black between different manufacturers, so you need to keep that in mind as well. For example, on the white, Prismacolor to me is the best. Can everybody see the different shades now that I've got going? And it's just the simple window dividers. See how cool that looks? All right. So now for continuity, you can go ahead and color your other frames. The black. All right, there we go. Now, if you want to go ahead, let's see, I'm going to go ahead and define this as well. Now, I could have used my black pen, Pilot pen, But this black that I'm using is a slightly lighter gray. And then one more horizontal line, and I think we're good for the moment. Zoom out. Okay, so now we have all sorts of definition going on here. There's a lot of repeating that's going on. Yeah. And don't be afraid to do that, guys. If you've got something like this that's repeating and repeating, start building that up. And then you can go ahead and color from there. And it's going to make, it's like signposts. Okay? Alright guys, I think I'm in pretty good shape right now. So I'm going to call it an evening. A little bit early, but hey. Anybody have any questions or comments? You grab some water. I think we're in good shape on this piece. I've used gel pens, Stephanie, just depends. I love them. Yep, this is from the America book. Okay, guys. This is ILene Vick for Teaching Adult Coloring with ILene Vick. And I hope everybody had a good time. See you tomorrow night. Don't forget, Melba's going to be here. And we'll have lots of fun with her. Alright guys, take it easy. Joyous, joyous coloring to everybody. Bye.